Mr. Minusco has a prenuptial agreement that both parties signed in Hawaii, where Mr. Minusco lives, and he would just like some testimony on what property he would like divided by the court today as well.
All right. Ms. Manusco, do you want to give your opening statement now or?
Your Honor, good morning. I file for a motion of continuance for this case because I am totally interested in continue this case with the proper legal advice and legal aid that I am allowed by law to represent. And the reason I did not answer to this case in the proper time is that I was losing my job in that time and I couldn't pay for a lawyer. I kindly request my petition to be approved in this morning. Thank you.
Okay. So you said you filed a continuance?
Yes. And I have the copy and it is it's stamped by the court. And I emailed to the opposing party as well, to the lawyer.
All right. So Mr. Starr, she's made a general appearance, so it's not going to be
I
a
I understand. I would still like to go forward today. Mr. Minusco they lived in Hawaii. His wife left some time ago, and he had to hire people to try and find her. He's been waiting on this divorce for a long time, and she was served in February. That's a long time to get a lawyer and file anything. If she was able to file a continuance, she should have been able to file a general answer, I believe.
All right. So both parties have given their opening. I'm going to deny Mr. Starr.
Thank you. First, some general questions, Mr. Minusco. What was the date, to the best of your knowledge, of your marriage?
July 14th, 2018.
Okay, and what was the date of your separation?
June 1st, 2022.
Okay, and at that time when you separated, did your wife leave the marital residence and go to another state?
She did. She was removed by the police from the residence.
Okay, and you actually have a protective order on your wife currently, don't you? An active one.
That's correct.
Okay. And when does that expire, to your knowledge?
November of this year.
Okay. Now, do you know where your wife went after that?
I'm aware now that she's in Texas.
Okay. And so you believe she's been living there since then, correct?
Correct.
Has the marriage become insupportable due to discord or a conflict of personalities that destroys the legitimate ends of the marriage relationship?
Yes.
Is there any reasonable expectation of reconciliation with your wife?
No.
Now, you don't have a final decree, but you had a prenuptial agreement. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and that's her signature and your signature on the prenuptial agreement.
That's correct.
Okay, and did you guys alter that in any way when you submitted it to me? Okay. Your Honor, I would like to offer Petitioner's Exhibit P-001 into evidence, the prenuptial agreement signed in Hawaii.
Any objection, Ms. Fundin? Okay, what's your objection?
This prenup was made in a scratch. It was signed by both. It has scratches. It was not legalized. And I don't think a document like that could be a valid prenup. It was not signed by a notary or a lawyer, and it is totally a scratch.
Okay, Mr. Starr, your response.
Well, it's an opposing party statement, Your Honor, and they're both of sound mind. And they agreed to this going into the marriage, and parties are able to contract among themselves. And this is a contract between two parties.
All right, you want to put it on the screen?
Okay. Here you are, Your Honor. It's on the screen.
All right.
Um, I mean, it's made in the state of Hawaii. It's signed by both parties. If you look at the bottom here, it's a
Okay.
contract between both parties. And then the statutes of Hawaii regarding prenuptial agreements say that these are enforceable and that they are enforceable even without any consideration as well.
All
And it's
right.
also it should be in your box as well, Your Honor.
Okay. So Miss
And there's two, and there's a witness.
Suka, okay. Who's Eileen Boland? Oh, is that the witness? Okay, that's the
Yes,
witness.
Your Honor.
Okay, so is that your signature there, Miss Fonseca? As you've signed there?
Objection.
Okay, you've already made your objection. We're just deciding now whether this is proper to enter into evidence. Is that your signature?
It is, but why is not showing the scratch part?
We're asking specifically, on above, there's property of the parties. This house, and you'll hear testimony from Mr. Minusco, is separate property that he owns with two of his other family members before the marriage. Is that correct, Mr. Minusco, as well as I described
that is
Hawaii, that you're asking to be deemed your separate property? Is that correct?
that's correct.
Okay, do you own that house in its entirety?
I do not.
Who else do you own it with?
There are several mortgages as well as my parents on the deed.
Okay, so
Both
you
of
own it
them.
with, and your name is on the mortgage?
That's correct.
Okay, is your wife's name on the mortgage?
It is not.
Okay. Are there any vehicles that you're wanting as awarded to you?
Yes, there are.
What vehicle is that, sir?
There is a Toyota Highlander and a Jeep Wrangler.
I'm going to stop screen sharing, Your Honor. Now, are you in possession of both of those vehicles?
I am not.
Okay, what vehicle are you in possession?
I'm in possession of the Toyota Highlander.
Okay, and is your name on the deed to that?
It is.
Is your wife's name on the deed to that?
It is not.
Okay. Did you own it before the marriage?
No.
Okay, you bought it during the marriage.
Yes.
The Jeep Wrangler, is your name on the deed to that car?
It is.
Okay, are you in possession of it?
I am not.
Okay, who is in possession of that vehicle to your knowledge?
Neither myself nor the respondent.
Okay. Did she take it with her when she left Hawaii?
She took it with her when she was removed from the house. Yes,
Okay, is that the car she normally drove though?
it is.
Okay. Is there a note on that car, like a loan?
There is a outstanding loan on the vehicle.
Okay, whose name is that in?
That is in my name,
In your name only?
in my name only.
Okay, are you asking for possession or the right to repossess that vehicle so that
I
you can
am.
pay off that loan? Okay. In the alternative, if the judge, because the judge's job is to make an equitable distribution of the estate, are you saying, would you say that in the alternative, she be responsible for that debt on that vehicle since she took the vehicle?
Yes,
Now, did you file a proposed property division?
I did.
Okay, are you asking the court to make that an order of what you want in the proposed property division that you filed?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay, and I'd like to offer that into evidence as a record of his testimony. It's labeled as P002, and it's in your box as well.
All right, you want to bring it up on the screen, please, so she can look at it?
Yes. Okay. So you filed this with the court, correct?
Your office did correct.
Okay. Well, on your behalf. So you did.
Yes, yes.
And then we see the Jeep Wrangler 2017 and the Highlander here, and you owe about $10,000. Is that your testimony on the Jeep Wrangler?
The debt balance is about 22,000.
Okay, so there's 22. Okay, I see it here. And then the market value is 11,000. What are you basing that off of?
This was based on a Kelly Blue Book value. Um, Again, the condition of the vehicle is unknown.
Now, your wife has a Bank of Hawaii savings account. Is that correct?
Basing this information on the previous information provided to the Hawaii courts.
Okay. So are you asking, when it petitioner's exhibit 002?
All right, Ms. Fonseca, do you, any objection to the admission of petitioner's exhibit 2? It's just his argument, really. They're really kind of demonstrative and not true evidence, but this is kind of a guideline of what what petitioner is saying that the court should do. And he
Okay,
back that up with evidence. But do you have any objection to this admission?
I totally do. The Jeep value is not 11,000. That Jeep, if you see on the market, you can sell that Jeep for 32
Okay.
or 34,000.
That would be something that you could put on as evidence. And I hadn't sworn you yet, and I did ask you about that on your signature, so I'll have to ask you that again, or somebody will, because you weren't sworn yet when I asked you that. But that's really not a legal objection. Any other objection about this? Because see, you can come back on your testimony after you're sworn in and say, well, that's not the value of the Jeep, but that doesn't negate the admission of the evidence, which is really just a demo.
There is a Jeep and there is a Highlander. Those both were acquired during the marriage. None of these cars had an actual debt. They're all paid off.
Okay. All right. Petitioner's Exhibit 2 is admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. He may proceed, sir.
Okay. Mr. Minusco, the 401ks that you're asking the court to award in your name, are those something you earned through your employment?
That's correct.
Okay, and these aren't from your wife's jobs. You're not asking to take her 401ks from her jobs. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And then all these unsecured debts, you're asking the court to award those in your name as well.
That's correct.
Now, are there any children born or adopted during the marriage who are currently under the age of 18?
There are not.
Okay. And just to kind of reiterate, you're asking the court to award you the house as separate property, deem it separate property.
Correct.
Is there anything else that you think the court needs to hear today?
Just in regards to the Jeep, I have not seen or been in possession of that Jeep since our separation almost 2 years ago. I have heard from friends who have seen this around town, and I've been provided pictures that someone, not the respondent nor myself, have been driving that Jeep around illegally, towing watercraft around with it. I've been insuring this vehicle, and this is liability to me, and I just need to make sure this either comes back into my possession or gets my name removed from that. And I cannot do that without a divorce decree.
Okay, and then
And I'm not real sure Jeep or whoever financed it would agree to remove you, right? Isn't that
Yeah, I've had problems dealing with this.
Well, I mean, isn't that the law, Mr. Stara? They can show a divorce decree awarding, a debt to somebody all day long, but, they're still going to go after, right? Or am I wrong?
Yeah, no, I believe you're correct. Mr. Minusco, in the alternative, if if your wife can't refinance the Jeep or return the Jeep to you, are you asking for a judgment for the amount of money that you owe on the Jeep against
That's
her?
that's correct.
Okay. Now, except for the Jeep, are you asking the court to award you the personal property in your possession and to award your wife the personal property in her possession?
Correct.
Okay. Do you think the court needs to hear anything on the protective order or the issues that arose around that?
Nope. I would just like to get this matter, the divorce, completed before the restraint.
At this point, Ms. Fonseca, you may ask questions of Mr. Montessuco. You may proceed.
Um, sorry, how do you pronounce your last name? Montessuco? Can I ask questions? Sorry, Your
Yeah,
Honor.
you're asking questions of your husband at this point.
To
That is, since you're representing yourself, this is called cross-examination, so you get to ask him questions about basically anything.
Jordan Moniusco, do you remember that the day I left the house, you told me to leave the house, not the police. You kicked me out of the house with cruelty and no pity. You did not care about my well-being in your country because I am.
Objection. Lacks personal knowledge of what he thought.
Overruled, but that's 3 questions in a row. Ask one question and wait for the answer. Then ask so it's compound. I would have granted that objection, but start over and ask one by one, not, a whole bunch together.
Okay. Jordan, the day we separated, did you kick me out of the house? And there is a video of it. Yes or no?
The police removed you from the house that day.
No. He told me to left the house.
Objection. That's not a question.
Sustained. You can only at this time ask questions. You're going to have your chance to testify on direct examination in your case in chief, or if Mr. Starr calls you in his. So just at this time, the way that the law is that you can ask questions. Just keep asking questions, anything that you want the court to know.
Jordan, do I was paying the Jeep with Turo payments every month?
Payments were made for approximately the first year of the Jeep ownership, and then they ceased. And
Did you
that was
pay
from our mutual LLC that we both contributed to.
the LLC that you created was during the marriage? Yes or no?
Yes.
Does the debt on the Jeep, you paid it from the loan, from the LLC account? You paid it off the Jeep from the LLC money.
The Jeep is not paid off. Monthly payments were made from the LLC account that we created together.
Jeep, it's been paid off, as I remember you told me one day. You say that the Jeep has been paid off because you received the loan money, the equity money, so the
Objection. That's not a question. It's a narrative.
Turn your statements into questions. You may try again. That objection is sustained.
Did you create the LLC during the marriage?
Correct, yes.
Does we pay for the Jeep during the marriage, both of us?
The payments that were made on the Jeep came from the majority of them came from the income from the LLC, not all of them. I made several payments and continued making payments after you ceased making them.
Does the LLC, how much money exactly did you receive from the LLC during our marriage?
Me personally, zero. I did not take any money from the LLC. Only used the money from the LLC to facilitate the payments that we made together, the car payments.
Why did you did not took me in consideration but added my name on the LLC and you did not include me on that LLC?
Your name was included on the LLC. It was a two-member partnership.
It was during our marriage, yes or no?
Yes.
Did I help you out with the Airbnb at the house? With the Kalama Street house?
You did, and you were compensated for doing so.
How many rooms are you renting right now in Kalama Street?
One.
What happened with the other two?
I would object to the relevance of this because that house is separate property.
Overruled.
The house is there are several bedrooms in the house.
So your rental income is not what you declare on your statement. Your rental income, it is about $3,000 a month plus your salary. So you are not declaring that you rent 2 extra units in that statement.
That's incorrect. I'm renting 1 bedroom.
And for how much?
It is currently unrented.
But how much are you asking for that unit, for the studio right now?
Up until last month, I was receiving $1,200 per month. Gross.
Yesterday, I have aware and I have proof that you are requesting $1,400 for the studio. It's not what you put in your statement. You are asking
Objection, lack of
$1,400
a question.
for the back
Sustained.
unit, plus you rent. Have you been fulfilling your obligations with the immigration law according to the form I-867?
Yeah.
Objection to the relevance.
Overruled.
Jordan, have you been disregarding your immigration contract as a sponsor of myself in this country?
Third question.
Have you been disregarding your commitment with the federal law with immigration by caring and providing to someone that you bring to this country and you have not been fulfilling your obligations with the federal law?
I am fulfilling all of my obligations.
Not with the federal law.
Objection to the lack of question.
Cost of the Jeep at this moment, as your knowledge, what do you think is the total cost of the Jeep right now?
You mean cost or value?
How much you can get from the Jeep if you sell it?
Okay, that would be value, right?
The Jeep's not been in my possession for nearly 2 years. I don't know as of its disposition or its value. But my Blue book value is what I listed in the documents.
And what
That
was
is
that
correct.
again? Can you remind the court, please?
11 or $12,000.
Thank you. You may proceed.
That's not the value of the car.
Objection to the lack of question. She can testify.
Signed.
How much you paid for the Highlander when you bought it?
The purchase price was $7,000.
How much do you pay for the Jeep? How much was the value of the Jeep when we got it?
$34,000.
Okay. We both were maintaining the cost of the Jeep in one way or other way.
No, you had never personally contributed money to that account. However, I had on multiple occasions when you had either removed money from that account and it was not available to make the payments and pay for maintenance or otherwise.
Did I replace and I purchased the tires for the Jeep? Yes or no?
Objection asked and answered.
Sustained.
Did you recall Jordan kicking me out of the house?
Objection asked and answered.
Well, let her finish the question. Do you recall kicking me out of the house?
Several times, using control and manipulation towards me? Yes or no?
Objection to argumentative on using control and manipulation.
Overruled.
You were only removed from the house twice. That was the last 2 days that you were living here, and both times were by the police.
That's not my question. I ask, do you remember kicking me out of the house with your words, with your own verbal words, several times? Yes or no?
No, I recall asking you to leave multiple times because your behavior was unacceptable.
Do you think your behavior towards me was acceptable?
Absolutely.
So you think you could have more control while you were treating me bad with cruelty?
Objection argumentative.
Sustained.
What gave you the power to kick me out of the house several times, Jordan?
Again, I asked you to leave when your behavior was disturbing myself and others to the point that we couldn't live peaceful lives.
Why did you not leave instead of me?
Because that would not have solved the problem.
And why me leaving will be solve the problem?
Because any tenants that we had at the time deserved a peaceful space, free from yelling, slamming doors, throwing things, and being physically.
So you could also leave the house, yes or no?
No, I could not have left the house and been secure in providing a safe space for any tenants that were there.
So you care to provide safe space for your tenants and people around you, but not your wife, correct?
You were absolutely provided a safe space. You made the space unsafe for myself and others.
You think that the multiple times that you have kicked me out of the house is a power control?
Objection argumentative to multiple times kicking me out of the house.
Sustained.
I want just be fair and what the law entitled me to have or acquire from this marriage, from all the emotional and physical damage that he caused on me, and also all the prejudices by me moving to this country. I'm not a professional. I could never make the money that he does. And I recently lost my previous job and I started a new job. which I'm not doing any money. I don't have health insurance, which is really important because he brought me to this country and there is an obligation with immigration law about my well-being in this country until I am willing to make a certain amount of money by year. And I am not in that range right now. And that's why I require some support from all this damage that he caused on me. This court hearing or this hearing to be fair, and I would like to continue. I know you denied my request, but I could prove and I could state that some of these things that he declares are not true. And
Okay. Can I ask you a question? Where's the Jeep?
in Hawaii,
It's in Hawaii. Who has possession of it?
it's just parked at my friend's house.
Okay. And what is the name of your friend?
Marco Hernandez. Fernandez.
All right. Let's go to closing argument. Mr. Starr.
Yes. So considering that the Jeep is testimony says it's in Hawaii, and Mr. Manusco's testimony said he has a loan on that, and he's been paying on that, I'd like that awarded to him. The prenuptial agreement has been signed by both parties. Both parties testified that's their signature, and it states that Mr. Manusco's house is his separate property, and I believe he also stated it was purchased before the marriage as well. And so we'd like you to declare that separate property. And we'd also like you to declare the petitioner's Exhibit 2, grant the relief requested by Mr. Manusco on the property division. We believe that's fair and equitable. He's taking a lot of debts, and it really seems like as well that he's kind of been paying a lot of debts on things and trying to make it. They've been separated for 2 years as well, so they've gone their separate ways. You've heard testimony about, I guess, their feelings on each other. And Miss Fonseca has a job in Austin, Texas, that she's been living for the appropriate amount of time for the court to have jurisdiction. I think we just like the relief granted.
All right. Your closing argument, Ms. Fonseca.
My argument?
Yes. What would you like the court to do?
I would like the court to grant me safety and security in this country by having health insurance provided by my husband, from Jordan, of course, because I moved here and I now have no family, no nothing here, and I need to start my life. It's been causing me a lot of debts and a lot of payments. I paid lawyers in the past. I pay my apartment monthly. I need to get a car for my work. I need to start all over again, a new life. And that's why I request health insurance, sorry. I also would like to be granted part of the LLC money because that was during our marriage and that was our plan to invest in something together. Plus, I help him running the Airbnb and paying for his monthly payments from Kalama Street, from that house. I help it taking care of the tenants, of the Airbnb people. I help it with the yard. I help it painting the house. I help improving the house for the rental income that he was making. So I would like to have granted some of that money from the LLC. Also, I am also willing to take some debt and also be part of the Kalama Street house. And also I would like to have the total value of the Jeep in my name.
Okay. Court's going to take this matter under advisement. I'm going to ask Mr. Starr to draft a proposed decree, and send it to the court clerk in Word, editable, and copy Ms. Monisco, on that communication? How long would it, we're off the record, how long would it take for you, Mr. Stara, to get that thrown together?
I can, if you give me a couple weeks, I could probably get it done. The issue is our firm closes on the last week of this month for a kind of a CLE. The whole office closes, so no paralegals or anything. Um, could you give me till the 7th of next month and I can
Sure.
try and get it pushed through? Okay.
All right. All right, and just be sure to copy Ms. Fonseca so she can, make comments, if she wants.
And Mr. Starr, you'll email that to me, Allie Latham. I was CC'd on the email from which you got the link.
Oh, okay, thank you. I'll do that.
All right.
Your Honor,
Yes.
would you just repeat me what will happen after this hearing? Just my English is not 100% accurate. So I
Well,
just need to make sure.
Based on the testimony and the documents, the prenuptial agreement, for one, I haven't completely looked at. Petitioner's Exhibit 2 was admitted, but I'm not sure there was testimony on all of it. So what I'm doing is basically they call it taking it under advisement. Some people say taking it under avoidance, but actually I need to lay everything out and see what was pleaded and what testimony supported those pleadings, and what the prenup actually says, because I didn't see all of it. So that would go into my decision on a fair and equitable division of the marital estate. And based on the testimony, whether the house was separate and what's the deal with the LLC and the Jeep and all that. So I just basically, judges take things under advisement when they need more time to look at the documents. So I'm asking Mr. Starr to send me something, a final decree of divorce that I can edit if I need to. Like, for instance, if Mr. Montasuka was asking for something but provided no testimony on it, that would probably be denied. So,
Judge, can I suggest that before we go off the record, you go ahead and render the divorce?
okay. Let's go back on the record. The court renders a divorce. At least that way and then the property division will come shortly after the 7th of June for the entire final decree of divorce. Probably some changes I'll need to make and see if there is testimony to support petitioner's requests, which were memorialized in petitioner's Exhibit 2. I also need to look at petitioner's Exhibit 1 to see how that affects the division of the estate.
As I have the knowledge, also the 401k savings, that it's also part of the community property.
All right, I'll put that down on your closing argument to look at the 401k and see how that should be divided. All right?
Thank you, Your
All
Honor.
right.
This case reflects a clear contrast between legal preparation and emotional argument. The court was primarily focused on evidence, procedure, and enforceable agreements, rather than personal grievances. The prenuptial agreement played a central role in the proceedings, and because both parties acknowledged their signatures and no legal defect was proven, the court treated it as valid and enforceable under applicable law. The petitioner's case was presented in an organized and legally structured manner, supported by testimony, exhibits, and consistent documentation. Property ownership, debt responsibility, and asset classification were clearly outlined, which allowed the court to evaluate the request for an equitable division of the marital estate. On the other hand, the respondent, appearing without legal counsel, relied heavily on emotional narratives and issues that fell outside the scope of property division. While those concerns may be personally significant, the court emphasized that only relevant legal evidence could influence its decision. Several objections were sustained due to lack of relevance or improper questioning, which weakened the respondent's position. Ultimately, the court granted the divorce and took the property division under advisement, indicating that a final decision would be based strictly on the evidence presented and the terms of the prenuptial agreement. This case underscores an important legal reality. In family court, outcomes are determined by documentation, legal standards, and procedural compliance, not by emotion alone.